Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Joss and welcome back to my channel squibblesreads. So in the past, I've talked about how hard it is to find subscription boxes that really align with my beliefs and values. This month I have found two companies whose beliefs and work I can stand behind, and I have the second of those boxes for you guys today, and that is Muse Monthly. What I do for my unboxing videos is that I pre-film the explanation of what you get in the box and what the company is and what their beliefs are and the unboxing, and then a few days later after I am finished reading the book, I will film a review of that book and I will compile the two footages together and into one big video, and that is the video that you guys are going to be seeing today. I am not an affiliate, ambassador, or sponsored by Muse Monthly, but they were so kind as to send me this box, so thank you very much. Muse Monthly is a company that highlights books written by and about women, people of color, and people who identify in the LGBTQA+ community. They focus on debut authors, specifically adult literary fiction, and each box will include a new book that encompasses these characteristics and these values. For example, some of their old boxes have included books like Homegoing by Ya Jessie, which is one of my favorite books of the year, and also Perfect Days by Rafael Montes, who is a debut Brazilian author, and that book I also really enjoyed. As well, they will also include and pair with the book a full box or tin of tea, which is made by a small, organic, local tea maker, and that is something that I can totally get behind because in my, even non-bookish purchasing life, I really like to support small, independently owned companies. On their Twitter, Muse Monthly also announced that they will be starting both flat rate shipping and international shipping, so I think you will be able to get one of these boxes wherever you live. But let's get into the unboxing. It comes, in this white box that says Muse Monthly right here. Okay, so let's start with the tea. I don't know if you can see this. It's called Bad Girl Good Tea. It is called Flower Crown Tea. It is a green, white, and oolong tea. There's 1.25 ounces of it, and it is a loose leaf tea. It includes green organic tea, white tea, oolong tea, mango pineapple, marigold blossoms, rosebuds, blue cornflower petals, and natural flavors. It smells like fruit and flowers. I'm not even gonna try anymore, but I do think that it smells really good. This is definitely something that I can drink and I'm willing to drink, so I'm gonna try this. So I'm super happy about this book because I wanted to pick up a galley of this at BEA, but I didn't know when they would be dropping, so of course I missed it, but now I'm really stoked because I do have a finished copy of this, and this is The Muse by Jessie Burton. She also wrote The Miniaturist, which was her debut novel. I do have a copy of it, but I haven't read it yet. But this is a book that follows two women, the first of which is Odelle Bastien, who lives in July 1967 in London. She's just moved from Trinidad 5 years ago, and there's a woman named Marjorie Quick who takes her under her wing and hires her as a typist at the Skelton Art Gallery, and there is a mystery surrounding one of the paintings in the art gallery. And the second woman that we follow is Olive, who lives in the 1930s in Spain. She is the daughter of a very famous art dealer, and she somehow holds the secrets of the painting, and their lives are kind of linked by the painting. I'm not entirely sure, but this is some combination of historical fiction and literary fiction, so I will go and read this, and I will be back in a few seconds with a full review of it. Goodbye! Hello! So I am back with my review of The Muse. I literally just got home from work and finished up the last little bit. My thoughts right now are a little bit all over the place, but I will collect them and do a more succinct review in my August wrap-up. I was genuinely pleasantly surprised. It did remark on a lot of different social conventions. Mainly the one that comes to mind is that of the Muse being kind of this enigmatic, mysterious, sultry female figure, and that was totally not the case in this book. Olive, the woman who is living in Spain, her muse is a guy whose name is Isaac. Olive herself was the creator and in some respects the director of the artistic process, and Isaac had some issues with this with regards to his expected role in society being male. So along these same lines, there was also some play on the strong woman narrative and how both of these women were strong through their struggle. Not necessarily because they triumphed or were greater than anyone else in any regard, but we see them being strong in their own individual growth as women, and that's something that I really appreciated. Odelle's narrative as a Trinidadian woman in London was particularly interesting because many of her values were those of British society at that time. But as a Trinidadian woman dating a Caucasian man in London, there were some aspects of racism that were explored but not overtly or directly touched on, which I thought was kind of an interesting way to approach it. There are definitely some feminist themes talking about how bold female artists are seen in society and the expectations that kind of surround them, and how Olive chooses to or to not display her artwork and who she shares it with. And Jessie Burton also illustrated how art and language was used to empower both of these women's lives. There are a couple things that I also wanted to comment on. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about them right now. I definitely do want to let both these things kind of sit for a little while and come back to them. The first one of those is that Odell's narrative was in first-person point of view and Olive's narrative was in third-person point of view, which kind of threw me for a loop at the beginning. There was kind of an adjustment period every time the point of view switched, and that's not like necessarily a bad thing, but it was most definitely like there. I also noticed that Olive's perspective was a little more history heavy and talked a lot about Spanish history at that time, which again is not necessarily a bad thing, but this took time away from getting to know Olive a little better herself, and because of the history and the third-person narrative, I did feel like I heard and connected with Odell more than I did with Olive. And the next thing that I wanted to comment on was just an observation and based on some research that I did. So Jessie Burton herself is not Trinidadian or Spanish, so this is not a Known Voices book. So I definitely wanted to see where her inspiration and her research processes came from. I read an interview with her and I will leave that link in the down bar below. Basically, she wanted to write Odell from an intersectional lens, incorporating her parents' struggles with slavery and colonialism in the 1940s in England. In the interview, she acknowledged that she doesn't share Odell's background or heritage, but she did do a lot of research in terms of writing from Caribbean authors, and she consulted with a professor at the University of West Indies. This, I believe, she used to check for accuracy of the Trinidadian language and dialect. I also took a look on her Twitter, and I will leave that tweet down below, but she replied to someone saying that she only had feedback from one woman of color who was a Trinidadian woman, and this book did work for her, but it's hard to generalize a nation, and that is definitely a notion that I can get behind, because even though there are things that groups experience because of the way that they look or their heritage, however, it's important to acknowledge that each individual's experience is different. I definitely feel that we shouldn't reduce people to generalizations about their ethnicity. However, I would definitely be curious to see other people's feedback about the Muse, especially Trinidadian or Spanish women. Overall, I did really enjoy the Muse. I think I'm gonna rate it tentatively 4 stars for now, but if I do any more research or collect my thoughts a little bit more, I will definitely update you guys about my thoughts in my August wrap-up. So that is it for today's video. I will leave the link to Muse Monthly's website down below if you do want to check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.